it doesn't matter necessarily what you're doing or where you're at, but as long as you're with your family and, you know, experiencing new things together.
Right.
But it doesn't always have to be super expensive.
All right, this is my chance. Like, I can decide what I care about most. Does it care about him, or is it freak out because of the thing?
So you mentioned 10 kids.
Yes, so we have 10 kids.
10 years.
In 10 years.
Yeah, so our oldest was 9 when our youngest was born.
We do have 2 sets of twins.
Oh, 2 sets of twins.
Yeah, we have 2 sets of twins.
Okay, that makes sense.
Fraternal set and identical set.
Yeah.
Oh,
so we have 2 boys, and then an identical set of twin boys, and then a fraternal set of twin boys, and then 2 more boys.
They were born 11 months apart.
Yeah. And then our daughter, and then our son.
Wow. What was your motivation to have a big family?
Yeah.
So it's funny. So she grew up in a family of 8. I grew up in a family of 6. And before I met her, I was like, I want between 5 and 8 kids, and I'll let my wife decide beyond that. And we met, and she said, I want to have 8 kids.
Because I had 8, and I was the youngest, and I was the youngest. So most of my siblings had moved out before I was really remembering, but I loved whenever they came back home because it was just a party every time. So I wanted a big family.
I have a big question, right?
Okay.
I personally think that you guys have a big heart. I have a very small heart where it took me 5 years to have a first child because I'm from a family where we always had a finance problem. And because of the stress and overwhelming responsibility, my dad always, he was an angry man all the time. So I never wanted to have kids. So I wanted to stop this curse. Done, right? Yeah. But then, I have a great wife who I look up to, and then I wanted to have a child. But I want to have some type of foundation, like financially. Then I'll love to have a child. And then it took me 5 years to decide to have baby. And then now baby number 2 is coming. But but I'm happy, but at the same time, I am very, very nervous financially, and I'm not that patient person. My wife is very patient, but I'm not. So when you have 2 kids, and then when you, let's have another, kid, and then when you thought about that, have you ever thought about like a financial side and how was your thought process with that?
Both of us grew up in families where there was not always an abundance, and we were okay.
We've never been to Disneyland with our kids, and we're like, we're just not gonna.
I mean, but both of us, like growing up,
fancy stuff like that with the kids, and the nice thing is, I have a profession where I'm like, I may not like it, but I can always find a job that will support us, and
support us quite well.
And I mean,
engineers.
I've come up with contingency plans of, all right, if we have to, we could move to this place where housing's way cheaper and do this, so I've always had these contingency plans of, if things get real bad, we can do this or that or the other. But I mean, so when we found out we were having our last child, it was pretty much exactly the same time that we decided to have me quit my job and start my own thing. And
scary.
It was, but it wasn't. It's so interesting.
It
like
really scary,
but we felt really calm about it, being like, obviously.
Well, most people are like, I'll start a business. I've got this much money to go. We're like, we'll get a home equity line of credit because we had no other money besides that, and it's worked out somehow, and we're doing okay. And we're still not going to Disneyland anytime soon.
But also, I think because we grew up in families where like we learned how to kind of stretch a penny, right? So we both grew up in kind of that mindset of like thrifting is fun and it's good and it's and not needing the biggest, latest, newest things. Like neither one of us are that way, and so I think it was nice that we both grew up in a similar household where like love came first and then money was just added.
Mutual understanding of finance and family dynamic. When you have this many kids, you have to compromise this and that.
And it's okay. It's okay that we don't. I mean, for a while, it was really hard for me to see other families, being able to go and do things. I'm like, I wish that I could give that to my kids. But then I thought, you know what? It's okay. Yeah, but it's also okay, like, going to like national parks. That is really cool. And that is very, it doesn't matter necessarily what you're doing or where you're at, but as long as you're with your family
Yeah.
and, you know, experiencing new things together.
Right.
But it doesn't always have to be super expensive.
I mean, most of my clothes, let's see, almost everything I'm wearing came from Walmart.
Yeah.
Several of them came from Walmart clearance.
And
you're
it's
okay
fine.
with it.
Yes, and it's fine. Like, we don't care,
care.
and our kids
Don't
Our
care.
kids don't care. I know a lot of people are like, what, but you're not giving them the newest and the best.
Yeah,
Like,
don't
we
care.
just don't care.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
things
I mean,
things are just things. But
half our kids
people and
don't
our
put their shirts
relationship.
on the right way.
They don't care. If
I'm
it's
like, why is
comfortable, that's
Why
all
is
that
your
they
shirt
care
on
about.
backwards?
I don't know.
Keep up with Johnson's, or
Yeah.
that's not in your book, I guess.
Right? It's just not doable. We just can't.
There are happy people without a lot of things.
Right.
A lot of times we think that the kids need, you know, we think our children need all of these things, but
We're not going
really,
to feel like we love them if we don't give them 10 different things.
right, but really they just want us to love them.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really, really important, because one of the main problems my family grew up is because my dad, his love language was just buying new things. He doesn't spend time at all with us, but I wanted to spend time with him, do something meaningful thing, go out in the park and just kick some balls, and you know, that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
But he couldn't afford the new shiny things. He bought it. And that's not what we wanted. We were like, oh, that's so cool. Next day, it's not cool anymore.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that I do. I love to do this because I can be around his in a range, right? So if he wants to say hello to me while I'm working here or editing video, he can just come and say hello. So that's kind of a thing. Like I go and, you know, just play with the car, and he loves dump truck and diggers and excavators and things like that. And I play with him a little bit, you know.
I love that about working at home too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's something that I was lacking.
Yeah. Well, no, I was going to say, and a lot of times all that they need is you to spend time with them for 5 or 10 minutes, and then you can go work, and they're just fine, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can go and they're like, no, I got my dad time in, like, that's,
But
But
I
that is so great that you're able to spend a lot more time with him.
Yes.
Well, I've asked the kids before, I'm like, would you rather, like, if I could work a lot more and we could have nicer stuff, we could go on vacations and better vacations and everything, I just wouldn't be around as much. And they're like, no. Like, not once of the kids, I've asked them a number of times, not once have they ever even remotely indicated that they preferred that we had more money and did more things.
And that's because they respect you. They respect you too. That's why they want to spend time with you. Because the respect, like the other word is like love, right? Because they love them, they love to spend time with you, and the way how you treat them and act and talk to them, give them respect. You know, like make them to respect to spend time with you. If they don't respect you or don't like you guys,
Then they'll be like, yeah, go work more.
yeah, go work more. Give me an iPad, and I'm just gonna play with my iPad and watch
I like this
Minecraft.
better than you.
Yeah, that thing is better than you. So why would I spend time with you, right?
Yeah.
So I think it has a lot to do with the parenting, where you put like your whole heart into it, and then kids responding it and they appreciate it. I think that's that dynamic, you know, both sides, you know, dynamic like worked. That's why 10 kids can work around, right?
Yeah.
You know, the DINK, double income, no kids people. Among married couple in America, 34% of the married couple are DINK.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that is 7% increase since before the COVID. So a lot of people don't want to have kids because they want to have a financial stability more for themselves. They have more time to each other. They can just travel and things like that. What do you think about people don't have child? What do you think they are missing?
That's their decision, right? And so, like, if that's really, like, they grew up in a traumatic household, or like maybe they just don't think that I could love the child as much as they deserve to be loved. And so I can like understand, I'm like, okay, I can see that. You do you, but for us, our kids just add more
That
joy.
would be sad for us.
Yeah, they add so much joy and fun to our life. Chaos and hardships, yes. You were like, you know what I mean? It's like the balance of like the pendulum, like the harder something is, the more rewarding and fulfilling it is. And that's definitely how we feel about our children.
You find a nice restaurant you really like, and you're like, everyone should love this restaurant. we got to tell everyone about this, and some people just aren't going to like it. But for us, it would be like, I don't know. At this point, it'd be like so sad if we.
It would be really sad.
Yeah.
Especially our kids.
Yeah.
Because we love them all individually, and it's interesting to see your capacity to love increase like that. It doesn't seem like I should be able to love all these kids the amount that I do, but I do.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Wow, that's a kind of same kind of a process that I'm on right now. I love my son, right? Like literally, it just I don't want to work at home because it makes me wanting to play with him. It's not because he's distracting. That is part of it, but it's just me.
You want to spend time with your kids rather than work.
Right.
That's how I feel.
Exactly. It's more fun.
It's more fun, yeah. Why would you not want to? Also, I mean, so like you love each of your kids the same, but then you just wait till they start interacting with each other, and then it's like, this is the best thing ever. You know what I mean? Like when you see them getting along and them having a good time with each other, like
because our kids always get it.
They don't always, and they do. Like that is like I always like. I have so many kind of core memories.
Really, really good way to put it. Because like when I see my boy was like, "Mom, what does exploring mean?" He's like 2 years old, 2.5, right? Finding treasure, and I was like, "Who taught you? Bro? Like, who taught that?" And
Where did you get that?
Yeah, and we were making blocks, right? Appa, I'm stabilizing. You're 2 years old, bro. Like, why do you say that? You know, like with the joy, you know.
Yes.
And I was like, I see something that unexpected, but it is something incredible.
Oh yeah.
It just gives me so much joy.
Yes.
I'm getting it like unexpected things that he does, and it's just like that little soul actually understands so much, and he has his own opinion, and it's so much joy, and then I feel bad at the same time, and I understand people who doesn't want to have kids because I was in that shoes. So like, but at the same time, like, oh man, they're missing this kind of a joy. You can get anywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you have like 10 kids that you have to go through that, joy. And you can only feel it as a joy because you take it as a joy. Some people don't take it as a joy.
Yes, right. We talked and made intentional decisions at the beginning that like things are things.
Yeah.
And that our relationship with our kids, how we feel together and about each other is so much more important than things.
Yeah.
Well, I had an iPod Nano back when those existed, and our oldest was 2.
Yeah.
It was on the table. He spilled milk all over and ruined it. And I thought right then, I'm like, all right, this is my chance. Like, I can decide what I care about most. Is it care about him, or is it freak out because of the thing? And fortunately, I decided I was going to be like, it's okay. It's a $200 iPod. It's fine. It's not that important. And so
but I think the kids know and understand that they come first.
Yeah.
That they come first in our lives. And
I see, like an organized house, and then I see it, and then I have to choose either mad, grumpy, versus I gotta do something better than that, right? So I think you gave me a big kind of advice where you choose more valuable things than I mean I couldn't find the excuse and the reason to tell people you should have family. I couldn't. I know a sense of it, but I couldn't vocabularize into it. But you perfectly explained to me that you see your kids grow into something and then interact each other and become some type of individual that that you proud of.
Yes.
I think that is what the biggest joy.
So it's a responsibility for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And it's not a light one either.
No.
So I think I get that it's scary because it's scary.
Because these days, interaction between human to human is such a lacking component where people don't know how to resolve the problem.
Yeah.
When people have a beef with each other, right? Like they don't know how to resolve it. In order to live in the same roof, right? And as a family, you have to resolve it. Hey, bro, like sorry, like say sorry. and then like accept the sorry and then not doing it again. You know, like a problem solving.
Yes.
You know? Resolve the issues. But people who grow up
or in a dysfunctional family where
Exactly.
it's never
no communication
stated,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
then I mean
It's hard to see.
that's a really good social skills that not many people sadly have these days.
I think it's similar with kids is just you gotta love them more than you love being right or whatever, and love them for who they are. Far too often I think we want to mold our kids into what we think is the perfect person, and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
We don't get to choose who our kids are. We love them for who they are.
Be excited about who they are, because that's what's really fun, is to see, you know,
How
10
so-
different personalities pop up, and you're like, how? I mean, even twins, you're like, you're so different.
If you want to share one thing to the world, what would that be?
Follow this channel. Kindness goes a long way.
It does go a long way.
Just be nice.
Thank you so much for your time. I
Thank
mean,
you.
I learned so much in just interacting, because like when you have kids, you learn a lot about yourself and about life, about everything, right?
Yes.
And you literally that course on steroid, like 10 kids, right? So you soaked up like so much experience and knowledge, and I could have that. It is such a blessing. Honestly, I had a very, very challenging, couple of days to working on it. While I was working on it, really happy that I could be some type of tools for you guys to raise 10 kids. It is definitely not easy, and so I'm so glad that I could help in any form. Just so you know that I have so much respect for you guys. Nothing but respect, and you should know that.